Last week, wow, that is more like it. How about that? 7-2-1, documented 7-2-1 against the spread. The Ohio State-Iowa game was a push because Ohio State won by 3 and was favored by 3. The only games I lost were Kansas State at Colorado and the Texas-Florida Atlantic game. The other 7 games, I was a winner. That's good. The bad thing is the coin went 7-2-1 as well. So with only 2 weeks to go, the coin maintains its 1-game lead. It should be fun down the stretch. All right, it's this simple. The coin and I, we pick 10 games against the spread. I make my selection, and then I flip this coin right here. If it lands on Abraham Lincoln and heads, it likes the favorite. If it lands on tails, it's going with the underdog. So let's go ahead and start with a Thursday night game, Texas A&M at Texas. Big rivalry game in Austin, and A&M enters this matchup for a change as the favorite, but by only 3.5. Why? A&M is the much better team this season. Texas, a lot of their losses have occurred at home, so the home field advantage to me doesn't really mean a whole lot. A&M should win, and they should win easily. Texas has to win this game, by the way, to get to bowl eligibility to get their 6th win. They're not going to get it on Thursday night. So give me the Aggies minus the 3.5, while the almighty coin is going to go with Texas A&M as well. For Friday, we were going to pick Colorado, Nebraska. However, Vegas has taken that game off the board because of the uncertainty of Taylor Martinez, the Nebraska quarterback. He's been pretty banged up, bad ankle, and now he has a bad toe as well. So he may not play in this game. Vegas thinks it's too risky to leave that game on the board. Can't blame him. So we cannot pick Colorado, Nebraska. However, if Nebraska were to lose this game, this is going to lead to our next prediction game, Kansas at Missouri. A Nebraska loss, and suddenly Missouri is playing for the Big 12 North Championship. Mizzou is a 24.5-point favorite to beat Kansas. I look for the Missouri Tigers to steamroll past KU in this one. Blaine Gabbert should have a pretty good game. Should be a fine afternoon for the Tigers offensively. They're going to be too much for Kansas in this one. This game being played in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Give me Missouri minus 24.5. The almighty coin is going to go with Kansas. Texas Tech at home on Saturday against Houston. The Red Raiders have already clinched bowl eligibility for the 15th time in 15 seasons in Big 12 play. No other Big 12 school has done that, by the way. They'll host a Houston team that has been a long year for them. Not having their quarterback, Case Keenum, earlier in the year really hurt them. Not the same Houston team that we've seen in the past. I look for Tech to cover the 9.5 points, while the coin is going to go with Tech as well. And then you have Kansas State ending their regular season out of conference play. And just like Texas Tech, K-State's already clinched bowl eligibility. The Wildcats will be in Denton, Texas to play North Texas. Even though the Wildcats lost last week, that was against a Colorado team that's very tough to beat at home. North Texas, they're from the Sun Belt Conference. I would imagine K-State will be able to run their way past North Texas in this game. So give me the Wildcats minus the 14.5, while the coin is going to go with Kansas State. Now, we're going to step out of the Big 12. Several big games on Friday. The biggest one being in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the Crimson Tide will host the number 2 team in the country, the undefeated Auburn Tigers, and the frontrunner for the Heisman Trophy, Cam Newton. Auburn has had a wonderful season. They're undefeated. They're riding high. But how many tough road games have they had this year? I think their toughest game was at Kentucky, and Kentucky's not all that, and Auburn needed a last-second field goal to win that game. Alabama's better than Kentucky. It's a rivalry game. Alabama's offense should be too much in this one, and Auburn's luck will come to an end. So give me Alabama, who's favored, by the way, minus the 4.5. The coin is going to go with Auburn. Arizona is at Oregon. The Ducks, before the Civil War next week against Oregon State, has to watch out for the Wildcats, a top 20 team. I know the point spread's large at 19.5, but Oregon at home is unstoppable. So give me the Ducks minus the 19.5. The coin is going to go with Oregon. And you have Boise State at Nevada, the Wolfpack ranked in the top 25. Nevada's lost only one game this season. Boise State comes in as a 14-point favorite. I think Boise not only wants to win this game, but I think they want to win big and make a major statement that they should be ranked ahead of TCU in the BCS standings. Of course, if they are, and Auburn slips up, it could be an Oregon-Boise State National Championship showdown. So Boise State, I think they cover this game. So give me the Broncos minus the 14, and the coin's going to go with Boise State. And on Saturday, you have Arkansas at home against LSU, a rivalry that in recent years has brought us terrific ball games. This one's in Arkansas. Look for the Razorbacks to cover the 3.5 in this game. LSU's only loss this year came on the road. It's a tough game to call, but give me Arkansas, the Razorbacks minus the 3.5. The coin is going to go with Arkansas. Wow, coin and I are almost identical. Sunshine State, Florida at Florida State. The Seminoles and the Gators in their yearly rivalry game. At the beginning of the year, I would not have taken Florida State to win this game, but Florida State playing at home, the teams are just about even. I'm going to give the edge to the Seminoles. Florida's lost 4 games this year, even though I know they're playing a little bit better right now than they were back in October. But when in doubt, take the home team. That's what I'm going to do. Florida State in Tallahassee. Give me the Noles minus the 2.5. The coin will go with Florida. And finally, Michigan State against Penn State. The Nittany Lions, by the way, Joe Paterno will be back to coach for the 2011 season. Good for him. The Nittany Lions at home against Michigan State. And I know the Spartans have had a good year and they still have a chance to win at least a share of the Big Ten championship. They've won close games this year. They've won impressively, but they're playing on the road, and this time they're playing against a team in Penn State that can still play some pretty good football in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to go with Joe Pop. I'm going to go with Penn State plus the 1.5. Penn State a slight underdog in this game, so Penn State plus the 1.5. The coin will go with Michigan State. So we had some disagreements, but not too many between Abe Lincoln and myself. We'll review them next week, as next week will be the final week for the Big 12 matchups, and then some as we're heading down the home stretch. So long for now.